Hello, everyone. Hi, 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 hi. Welcome. Welcome to my live. I am unable to see the chat, so I've got my wonderful moderator, Ardith, here that will put up the questions at the bottom. My monitor just literally went kaput 5 minutes ago. So here we are. Good morning from Connecticut. Hey, Eileen, we just chatted on mail. I lived in Connecticut for a while. I lived in Bethany, Connecticut, which is near New Haven. For the quad stenciling, you could do that with other stencils with a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. Your stencil would have to be probably a 4.25 by 5.5 stencil. So I don't know if you could, you could probably, let's see, if you were to take a piece of cardstock and maybe mask off a cross, basically, so you'll have 4 sections on your card panel, and you put the stencil over that section and just make sure not to go outside of your little masked square, you can use any stencil. So even if you have a larger stencil that's like 6 by 6 or whatever, just only blend in that 4.25 by 5.5 area and you'll be good to go. And if you have layering stencils, even better. If you don't have layering stencils, you can still get 4 stencils out of one piece of cardstock just by doing what I said. I sure hope that makes sense. That's a great question. It was nice chatting with you. Dale, the supply list actually was linking to another speaker supply list. We have fixed it now. So you can go back to my supply list and it will actually be my supplies. It was linking to Karen Berniston, I think. We didn't catch that until someone pointed it out this morning. Mandy, hey Mandy. I get to craft almost every day. It's what I do. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My kids are off at school during the day, so I get every day to do whatever I want. Living the dream, baby. Living the dream. What is my paper of choice with stencils? Well, I still have a ton of Nina's Solar White cardstock. I bought 80 pounds and 110 pound in reams off of Amazon. If you don't know what a ream is, it's 250 sheets. So I still have a lot of that to go through. But Ardith introduced me to another cardstock, which is a Hammer Mill copy paper cardstock. That could be wrong. She'll put it in the chat, the name of it, if you don't mind. But that's good too. So once I get through all of my Nina, I'll probably switch to that because it is a little bit cheaper. But I don't feel like you need fancy. I mean, you need decent cardstock because if you're ink blending, you want to make sure your cardstock is smooth because you want it to take the ink nicely and not all splotchy. So some of that low quality cardstock that you might get, in the little craft section in the kids area, I don't know if that would work, but you certainly don't need to go out and spend tons and tons and tons of money. And also I get the reams because again, that's 250 sheets of cardstock times 2. That's 500 card bases, if you think about it. I now live in Georgia. I live in Canton, Georgia, which is just north of Alpharetta, Georgia. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, where I lived for about 40 years of my life. Yes, that's the paper art. Just threw it up on the screen for you. Then I had to move to my husband's, got transferred orders. We went to Connecticut for 3 years. Then we went to upstate New York for 3 years. And now I'm down in Canton, Georgia, where I am laying my roots. I didn't make it all the way back down to Jacksonville, Florida, because I wanted at least to get somewhat of a winter because I really like cold weather. I love cold weather. I despise hot weather. So I settled on Georgia. My brother's family lives here as well. I do. If you can actually see, the question is, do you use the Gemini Junior for die cuts? You can see it right back there. I use that Gemini Junior. I am lazy. I don't like cranking it up, baby. I actually bought a Spellbinders. I'm looking at it now. Paper Arts universal plate die cutting machine for cranking. I don't like it. I have no idea why I bought that. For a manual machine, I still have my Cuttlebug from 18 years ago when I bought it, which is just fine. So I'm probably going to get rid of that machine. I should have never bought it, but I use my Gemini for almost everything because you just push the button, it goes, zip, and there you go. Taking a swig of my drink. Look, I hopped on the Stanley tumbler wagon here. My ink storage, hold on, is right there. And those are Organize More ink storage units from organizemore.com. And I love them. If you don't have, they come with the mounting hardware on the back, or they also come with little felt feet. So if you didn't want to hang them, you can put them on your desk. Question: if you were beginning to make cards now, what kind of stamps and die cuts would you buy now that you could use all year long? Yeah, if you follow me on my channel, um, I used to buy all the new stuff. Please don't get me wrong, but I stopped doing that. Now I'm all about using what I have. So I do major purges each year. And if I, styles change with clothes, with whatever. So it's not unusual for your style to change maybe with the kinds of stamps that you use. I used to love critters. Now I really don't care for them anymore. So I do a purge once a year, but I try to keep all my stamps and dies that are universal. I keep all my word dies. I try to buy every stamp set that I buy. That is universal, such as florals and things like that, Christmas themed. I try to buy the coordinating dies for, because you really can do a lot more with die cuts if you have the coordinating die cut. As far as stencils, they just, I did the quad stenciling today, but there's also some stencils now that you can get die cuts with as well. So I typically stick to foliage. I'm sitting here looking over their background stamps. Those are all universal stamps, birthday stamps, thank you, that kind of thing. And those are things you can keep all the time. I have no idea if that answered your question, but I hope it did. Found a stamp on my butt. I find stamps all over the place. How do I keep my mojo up and running? Honestly, I sometimes I burn out just like anybody else. And when that happens, I just don't come into this room. I stay out of it. I usually can go to Instagram and just I don't even, most of my Instagram stuff is not even card making that comes up. So I really get inspiration from weird places. Shower curtains, coffee mugs, gift cards, just all weird stuff. I'll see a pattern, I'll see something I like, and either I'll paint it or I'll stamp it or something like that. But that's, how I keep my mojo up and running. If I find that I sit in my craft room and the stuff I'm making is ugly, or I keep making mistakes, that is a cue for me to go out of the room and go do something else. And there are times that I stay out of this room for weeks. I come in here when I'm inspired. If I come in here and I find it's work or stressing me out, I leave. I don't have to come in here every day. So I encourage you all to do the same. This is supposed to be fun. It's a hobby. Enjoy it. If you find, that you're not, then you might just need to take a break, and that's totally okay. Nobody's going anywhere. Not a big deal. Hey, Arlene, how often do you re-ink your Catherine Pooler inks? That's a good question. I have some favorite inks that I use a lot of that I re-inked often. The way I can tell is when I flip the lid up and I see it's kind of faded on the top, like her pads are foam pads and they're very, very juicy. So if I can see even kind of a white haze, that means my pad is dry and I re-ink it. To this day, and I've had her ink since they first came out, I have never had to replace an actual refill bottle. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's not like I do it on a schedule, but I still have the original ink bottles. I have not gone through all the ink refills, but you can see I exclusively used her colored inks. I don't know if that answered your question. This has not been asked. Hi there, the Hoys. Hope this hasn't already been asked, but how do you purge, decide what to get rid? I do not keep it all. I am one of those people, and it might offend some, where I have absolutely no problem purging. Some people don't like to do it because they spent money on it, but quite frankly, you've already spent the money. You're not getting it back. You can try to sell it, but you're not going to get what you paid for it. So usually I just put things into a box and I send it off to someone. Just I fill a box. I always have a box in the closet. And if I come through something and I'm like, I don't like this anymore, which is okay. Or, this isn't really my cup of tea. That's okay. Or what was I thinking when I even bought this? That's okay too. I put it in the box. When the box is full, I mail it off to someone, anyone, whoever wants it. So I'm not one of those people that is afraid to purge or feel bad about it. What do you like to do? Hey, Maureen, what do you like to do as a like to do outside of paper crafting? Well, I love to paint. I like to watercolor, very much so. I like to make, those are most of my watercolors are behind me, except for this. Hold on, that that wolf. I can't, like, I don't know where my finger's supposed to go. There it is. That wolf is not mine. So I love painting. I like to actually take drywall, spackle, and make art out of it by getting it all over, like putting it all over a canvas and then adding color and whatever. I like to do that kind of stuff. I don't generally like to go outside because it's too hot. I'll go outside in the winter. I do like to garden. I like to have vegetables. So I'll pop out in the morning when it's still cold and pick my vegetables. Like to drink coffee. Um, that's it. Do you use a Cricut silhouette at all for die cuts? If so, when do you use that versus the Gemini? Usually, quite frankly, all of my die cuts are coordinated with stamps or stencils, so I'll use the Gemini. If I'm reaching for my Cricut, which I do have, that's something fresh. That's something new that I'm cutting. That's an SVG file, so it's not like it coordinates with anything. And that's what I use my Cricut for. But if I'm die cutting with an actual die, it's the Gemini 100% of the time. Push that button and just like that, your stuff is done. Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this. What do I do with all the cards I make? Well, I'm looking at them. You can't see, but I'm looking at them. I file them. I have categories like birthday, thank you, congrats, the XOXO, thinking of you, sympathy. I have all those categories and I put all the cards I make in those. And usually, if someone needs a card, they know I'm a card maker, they call me up and say, give me a card, and I'll give them a card. So if you ever see a card you want, let me know. I don't sell them, I don't do anything like that. In your video, you had a grid with card shapes that fit in your Misty. Oh, that is called, it was just piled up here and I moved it because it looked ugly in my I don't know where it is. It looks ugly in the background. I just dropped some stuff. That's all right. That's actually called, oh, it's here. Here it is. These are the waffle flower grip mats. And they come in different sizes. Some of the sizes will fit into your Misty. You don't need to have a Misty. You can actually put it on your work surface. And because of what it's made of the same stuff that clear stamps are made of. It's sticky, so it won't move all over your work surface and stuff. I love it. What a simple invention, and how stinking useful is that? Waffle flower grip mats. Waffle art, hello, are Catherine Puller inks archival? No, they are dye water-based ink. The only archival color that I know of to date is the black color, which is called Midnight. What brands of paints do I use most? I have a hodgepodge of paints. I have Arteza, whatever they're called. I went to, when I moved here, I realized that there was a Dick Blick here. And so I went and got their matte little paints. They're like in little 2 ounces. I'm sitting here looking at them. You can't see them either. And they're like $2. So I have a lot of those, and those are matte paints. But I have a hodgepodge of paints. I think there's some Liquitex. Those are expensive. No need to buy those. And honest to God, I use a lot of room paint, like color samples that people don't want. They gave to me. I have a whole box of wall paint. That's what I use on my canvas art. And for gel printing and stuff, I use the Arteza paint. I have some golden mixed in there. I don't think you need to go out and buy super expensive paint for that. FYI. Tell us a bit about your freebie bundle. My freebie is actually, hello, what's my freebie? I'm having a brain fart. Ardith will tell me. My bundle is access to the Color Theory Simplified course, which is a course I made, gosh, I was living in New York, so probably a year and a half ago. And it's a course all about color theory. Thank you, Ardith. That's my ultimate bundle. It's normally $49 and you get it for free if you're a bundle holder member. It is such a fun course because color theory can be scary. I'm not into that. I'm not a serious person. So I actually made the course super fun, and we go over each color family. We make a color wheel and we make a project with each color family. So by the time you're done, you understand color, you understand what you can't mix together to make mud. but what can work together, etc. By the time you're done, you will have projects in every single color family offered, and you will understand it, and you will feel like you have a master's degree in color theory without doing any hard work. And my freebie, which is available to all of you, are card layouts. I have given you 11 or 12 universal card sketch layouts that you can use. Sometimes when you sit down and you look at a blank piece of cardstock, you don't know where to start. So I have provided you universal layouts that will work for any kind of card, whether it's birthday, thank you, sympathy, how are you, I'm sorry, whatever. That is available. It's a downloadable sketch. And you can grab that now. Did you ever sell your artwork cards in craft shows and markets? No, most of my stuff I sell is on the internet. I sell prints of all my watercolors. As far as artwork that I make on canvases, I have to sell it locally. So I'll put it up on like Facebook Marketplace or anything. But I have never, ever gone or had a booth or anything in a craft show. Do any of you live near me? Do any of you live near Alpharetta, Georgia, and want to help me with a market? Because I don't know anything about that. Reach out. I'm there. I'm happy to do it. Sounds like fun. Since you are an artist, what is your attraction to using stamps, stencils, and dies? Well, I can paint. I can't draw. That is a huge difference. I cannot even draw a symmetrical circle. So I love stamps. I would never be able to draw out any of those flowers or any of the things that I have, no backgrounds, none of that. So that is why I gravitate towards stamps, and I just like having coordinating dies with them because you're able to do so many more techniques. And the same with stencils. In like 2 minutes time, if you use a layering stencil, you have like a work of art. Whereas if I was to paint that, that would take a long time. And I can never replicate anything I paint. So that's another thing about stamps. And also because I have all these beautiful inks and stuff behind me, I can take the same design, the same product, change up the color, and you get a totally different look. It's true. It's true. My favorite ink colors. Okay, so if you don't know about Catherine Puller ink, she has two lines, the spa line, which is up here, which are more muted colors, and then the party line, which is down here, which are more bright, happy colors. I love them all. I mix them all together all the time, but I tend to gravitate towards bright, happy colors. So, pinks, blues, greens, yellows, all those are my happy colors. I just love them. My favorite color family, which if my daughter asks me every day, what's my favorite color? It's going to be something along the lines of these. These are always my favorite colors. They all look the same in this video, but they're not. Different shades of like mint green, sea foam, that kind of thing. But I love all colors. Colors make me happy. Do I make my cards quickly? I can take all day. Well, Cindy, you need to go to my YouTube channel because every video I make multiple cards at one sitting. And I'm going to show you how you can simplify your process to make a whole bunch more in little time at all without any stress. I'm all about no stress. First of all, it's just paper. So if you happen to make a mistake, flip it over, start over, or throw the paper away. Is okay. And get another piece of paper. It's fun, but my channel is where it's at. Multiple cards, multiple techniques in a very stress-free but fast way. Because when I pull out all my stuff, I make more than one card because I already have all my stuff out. So that would be Cindy, I think you would get some good ideas over there. Laurel, do you remove the inside mat from your Misty with the sticky mat? It is mounted directly on the inside base. I want to avoid shifting and was curious. Do I avoid? I take out the mouse pad thing, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I take that out completely. And then I put my grip mat right down in that place. I think that's what you're asking. Yes. My last video, let me see, about I have a layering stencils video up right now. Like, not to be confused with what I did in today's presentation, but this is about layering stencils, and I'm using the grip mat if you want to check out that video in case you're interested in what some of us are talking about, and I'll show you how I load it into my Misty. The quad stencils are from Tailored Expressions. It should be linked in my supply list, which is correct now. So you just need to go to the stressfreecardmaking.com/schedule, click on my name, and all the information will show up. And also you can get my freebie there if you're a free ticket holder. If you're a ultimate card making bundle holder, then you'll have access to the classroom where you'll have all of the um, donations. That's not the right word. All of the ultimate bundle submissions and coupon codes and all that fun stuff. Do I use CP inks instead of distress oxides? Most of the time, Angela, I tend to reach for her inks because they're right here. And my oxides, I pull out for techniques. If I know I'm doing a technique video or I'm basing all my cards on techniques, I'll pull out the oxides. I don't use regular distress inks anymore. I got rid of all of those and I have the oxides just in the colors I like. That's it. But typically I can use her inks for most of the techniques because they're all water reactive ink. So I can use it with salt. I can use it with other things. Now the oxides, the difference between the oxides is once the oxide ink is dry, you can layer on another color. So I'm looking at the color wheel and purple and yellow sit across from each other on the color wheel. So if you were to mix purple paint and yellow paint, you're going to get, it's going to cancel each other out. So you're going to get like a muddy color. But the thing about oxides is once that purple ink is completely dry, just dab it with your heat tool, you can go ahead and ink blend or do whatever with yellow and the colors won't mush together. So you'll see actual yellow and you'll see actual purple. And that's the benefit of using the oxide inks. I hope that makes sense. Will the mats for the Misty work fit inside the Tim Holtz stamping platform? I don't have that, but there are like 5 or 6 different sizes of the grip mats. So I can't fathom it won't fit. And as now that I'm thinking about it, when you go to her website, she actually has like little graphics of what it will fit inside and maybe the platforms on there. But if you just measure how much space you have in your platform and then just go over there and find a mat that fits. If it's a little bit smaller, it doesn't matter because it's sticky. So it will fit inside and not move around. You can't go bigger, but you can go smaller. I hope that helps. La-di-da. Y'all want to hear me sing? La-di-da. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a lot of fun during the summit. I've been having a hoopla of fun. It's been great seeing all these different speakers and all the different things that they can make. Holy crap. What's your favorite spot in your craft room? You're looking at it. I'm sitting right here at my desk. I got a window right in front of me. Most things are within reach. So you're looking at it. I want to change. I'm not going to let you see what's over here. I have a kitchen island on wheels that I got from Wayfair, and that's what sits in the middle, and it's really quite pretty. But there is so much crap on it that I threw on there so I could get all the stuff out of frame, so y'all wouldn't see how messy I am. So after this, I'm going to clean up a little bit. It looks a little messy. Oh, I'm so happy you're enjoying this summit. This makes me so happy. So remember, if you are trying to figure out what today's schedule is for free ticket holders, it's up at stressfreecardmaking.com/schedule. If you're a free pass, not a free pass, if you're an ultimate bundle holder, you just go to the classroom, stressfreecardmaking.com/classroom and sign in. And everything's there. And you still have time to upgrade if you want. We have a open crop tonight that's going from, I think it's 7. I think it's 7 o'clock. Any other great terms like swinking? I have not had any other word vomits for swinking. I know I need to come up with more funny words. The joke behind swinking is it's actually a word I invented. I have a video on it and lots of people use it. It makes me so happy when they say I'm swinking. I was talking in a video. I do all my videos on voiceover, and I was trying to say ink swiping, and swinking came. I'm like, hi, I love that word. I should trademark and patent that word, but that's what swinking is. Nothing like a quick word vomit to make my day. So anyway, I hope you guys are having fun. I am. Any other questions before I hit the road, Jack? Don't you come back. No, come back. Come back. Don't leave me. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you have any questions I didn't answer, or you're catching this on replay, you can go to our Facebook group and ask our questions there and just tag us. Most of our speakers are there, not all of them, but most of them. You can catch me on my YouTube channel, which is just go to YouTube and search at Laurel Beard. I'm on Instagram, Laurel Beard, Pinterest, Laurel Beard. I'm very unoriginal. I'm Laurel Beard everywhere. I also have a website, laurelbeard.org, if you want to take a look at some of the prints of my watercolors and just say hi to me. I would love it. I love to hear to people. I like to talk to people from my room.